The big news yesterday, the Uvalde School District Police Chief being placed on administrative leave. What's next for the school district and the latest in this shooting investigation? Plus,
coming up, a look at a new tool that is showing how families are struggling to balance their budget with basic necessities, and we bring you a program that is helping families.
And taking a look outside through live cam, we are expecting temperatures to go up by a little bit, and of course we're going to be visiting with Mike to learn about the forecast.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Hi, good morning. It is Thursday, June 23rd. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for being with us, and it's such a pleasure being with you. I know that we're going to be talking about a lot this morning, including the weather. But first, we're going to take a look at the 9 at Now.
The latest from the Uvalde school shooting investigation, Pete Arredondo, the school police chief, has been placed on administrative leave, and State Senator Roland Gutierrez is suing the Texas Department of Public Safety after the agency denied his request for records related to the shooting. DPS did not immediately respond to the lawsuit.
The Biden administration and 7 CEOs of big oil companies will be meeting today to discuss lowering their prices and helping curb painful gas prices for families nationwide. But the meeting comes after weeks of tensions between President Biden and the oil industry. The president is not planning on attending today's meeting.
Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell is signaling continued interest rate hikes and warning the move could lead to recession. Powell went before the Senate Banking Committee yesterday and addressed the actions the Fed is taking to lower inflation and avoid a recession. He'll be back on Capitol Hill today.
Today's January 6th committee public hearing will be the last. For now, a spokeswoman says the committee continues to receive relevant evidence in its investigation, and that future hearing dates will come soon. Part of the focus of today's hearing will center on former President Trump's attempts to press the Department of Justice into advancing his false claims of fraud in the 2020 election. The hearing is expected to begin around 2 p.m.
The sentencing trial for the Parkland school shooter Nicholas Cruz is set to start July 6th. Once a jury has been selected, jurors will reportedly hear from nearly 2,000 witnesses. They will then decide whether to recommend the death penalty or send Cruz to prison for life.
A New York jury found a Navy veteran not guilty of vehicular homicide due to mental illness yesterday. 31-year-old Richard Rojas drove his car through a crowd in Times Square in 2017, killing one person and injuring 22 others. Rojas will remain in custody in psychiatric facility pending a hearing on the judge's examination order today.
Today, the World Health Organization will convene its emergency committee to consider if the spiraling outbreak of monkeypox warrants being declared a global emergency. Many scientists doubt any declaration would help to curb the epidemic. To date, no deaths related to monkeypox has been seen outside of Africa.
The biggest name in e-cigarettes may soon be off the shelves completely. The Wall Street Journal says the FDA is preparing to order Juul Labs out of the American market. Juul stopped selling sweet and fruity flavors of its e-cigarettes 3 years ago, but it's been trying to get authorization to keep its tobacco and menthol flavors.
The NBA draft begins tonight in New York, and you can watch it right here on KSAT 12. The draft begins at 7 p.m., and Larry Ramirez is there to see who the Spurs select with their 3 first-round picks. We're going to have highlights tonight on the Night Beat, and that's today's 9 at 9. And taking a look outside with live cam, the sun's out and we are creeping up with those temperatures. Now we're at 82 degrees.
Yeah, I mean, it's expected as we go up through the mid-80s, easy for me to say right now. And one thing, though, this morning, you stepped outside, it was actually a bit more, dare I say, pleasant. The humidity was down some. I'm getting a nod from Steph right now. We're at, officially 83 out there at the airport. And that bottom number is at 66 right now. Yesterday, the dew point temperature. The measured moisture in the atmosphere was up to 72, and that makes a whole lot of difference, those 6 degrees. Now, it is going to be hot again today. By the way, yesterday did not hit 90 or did not hit 100. We stayed at 98, but we're going to be up right around 100 later on today. 1 or 2 of those, stray little showers out there. The aquifer dropped down another half a foot, and of course, SAWS customers stage 2 water restrictions, but check with your municipality and to see what sort of restrictions are in place where you live. And the allergens, just a light amount of mold that actually went down from yesterday's reading. As far as temperatures around the area right now, yeah, warming up nicely. We did have a lot of low to mid 70s this morning, and these are the numbers that really count. Look at all these numbers were up in the 70s yesterday. So yes, we do have some drier air in place. It is going to be relatively dry later on this afternoon. Still 100, a stray shower or 2 popping up here. Hotter this weekend, low hundreds. Then we are still looking at some decent rain chances to start off next week. Pretty much an overall change in this weather pattern we have been stuck in for eternity, it seems like. More on that coming up in a couple of minutes.
And taking a look at those roadway conditions we are seeing right there on US 90 at Interstate 35 is smooth sailing. A lot of traffic starting to come out as the morning progresses. But of course, we're going to be keeping an eye on these roadway conditions later on.
And a shakeup in Uvalde yesterday as its school district police department got new leadership.
And the school district police chief, Pete Arredondo, is now on administrative leave. And even though he was recently sworn in on city council, he could lose that job if he misses 2 more city council meetings.
John Paul Barajas was in Uvalde yesterday where residents were watching this all play out.
He should never be allowed to work in law enforcement again, my personal opinion.
That opinion of Uvalde CISD Police Chief Peter Redondo was echoed by people who didn't want to go on camera, along with concerns about why it took the district so long to place him on administrative leave.
Yeah, I think it's kind of ridiculous. I just don't understand why they're being so slow with this investigation.
Bravo. About time. It's about time. It's been almost a month.
Superintendent Dr. Hal Harrell said he wanted to wait for the investigation to be completed before making any personal decisions. A statement from Uvalde CISD says his change of heart came because of, quote, a lack of clarity and unknown timing of investigation results. Residents we spoke to said this is just one of many things that needs to happen. Next is his resignation at City Council.
His inaction and inability to own up to him being an incident commander. Yeah, he can't be my councilman. I want better representation than that.
Kimberly Hammond took it upon herself to find a legal way of doing just that, highlighting city rules that state 3 missed meetings signifies the vacating of your seat. City Council voted against a requested leave of absence for Arredondo Tuesday night, meaning he's missed 1 meeting so far. Him being vacated of his seat or him showing up to face the families is a win for you regardless.
Either way, absolutely. Ideally, he will resign his position.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
And while Arredondo is on administrative leave, we're told Lieutenant Mike Hernandez will act as UCISD police chief.
And we asked the district if Arredondo will be paid for his leave, but a spokesperson says the district will not release that information.
Now, there continues to be frustration over the lack of information being released. The mayor of Uvalde says Uvalde's district attorney is to blame.
In a letter dated June 8th, Uvalde's DA requested any records or reports involving the shooting be withheld. She signed the letter, Christina Mitchell, and says the release of records would interfere with the Texas Rangers and FBI investigation.
Now, Mitchell has said she expects the investigation could take 6 months or longer before her office receives it, but we continue to learn more in public testimony.
The director for DPS said the classroom officers needed to enter was not locked and that the gunman could have been taken down 3 minutes into the response.
Now, State Senator Roland Gutierrez says there are still several questions to be answered. He's now filed a lawsuit against DPS after they failed to respond to his open records request. He says there is a concern that the law enforcement agencies in Uvalde couldn't or didn't communicate with each other.
Because none of the radio communications by any law enforcement unit of whichever entity they belong to, none of those communications worked inside that school. None of the 911 calls were dispatched to anyone inside that building. What happened on May 24th was a law enforcement failure of infinite proportions.
DPS Director Steve McCraw named Arredondo as the incident commander who reportedly did not have a radio on the scene. McCraw said police policy would not allow DPS to take control of that scene. However, State Senator Gutierrez says DPS later clarified an active shooter situation trumps all protocols since the response is to get rid of the threat. The state senator says it is time to learn the shortfalls from every agency involved, including the response from DPS.
Now, 21 people were killed in that tragic shooting, and during the hearing, the DPS director was asked if the attacker could have done as much damage with a bat, a revolver, or knife. Steve McGraw said no.
And yesterday, the initial autopsy reports were released. They show the damage an AR-15 style weapon can cause. In Washington, Congress is discussing gun reform legislation. The Senate's current plan includes language on red flag laws, mental health, and school safety. But it would not raise the age to buy assault style weapons from 18 to 21. The Senate is expected to hold a second procedural vote to move the bill forward this morning.
Now, of course, we'll keep you updated on air and online with any new information. Right now, the time is 9:08, temperature outside 82 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA at 9, a lot of recent college graduates may be looking for jobs now that they're done with school. We're going to have some tips to help you navigate while job hunting.
And when we come back, Tiffany Huertas is going to join us to talk about a new online tool to help people make and understand the tough choices that have to be made. A new online tool is letting users experience some of the difficult choices local families must make due to financial hardship.
United Way of San Antonio and Bexar County launched the online budget simulator in hopes it will encourage employers to commit to meaningful change related to wages and inspire people to donate or volunteer.
Tiffany Huertas joins us live to tell us more about this new tool and details on local programs to help people. Tiffany, what are families dealing with?
Good morning, Jonathan and Stephanie. This new tool is very helpful. It's very eye-opening, and it just shows the research that more than half of Bexar County residents are having to make very tough choices. Just check it out. This is the tool. It breaks down transportation, childcare, housing, and to talk a little bit more about this, we have Jason with United Way of San Antonio. Good morning, Jason. Talk to us about this new online tool.
Yeah, thank you, Tiffany, for having us here today. The tool allows somebody to simulate the challenges and the tough choices that you talked about. Where am I going to live? Where am I going to work? Where am I going to get transportation? These are tough choices that, like you said, over half of San Antonio are having to make every single day.
Talk to us about the statistics.
So 644,000 households here in Bexar County. 17% of those households are living below the federal poverty level. But an additional 35% above 100% of the federal poverty level are having a tough time making ends meet each and every day.
Why is this important, this tool?
It's critical for employers to look and see what are my staff and my employees making the tough choices they're having to do. Also for an awareness to understand the gravity of this concern in the community.
And also this morning we have Angelique here with Goodwill. Good morning. Talk to us about the different programs available to help families.
Yeah, so Goodwill mission is to help change lives through the power of work. And we do that by helping individuals secure employment and build marketable skills and resilience to advance into a career path that lead to family sustaining wages for individuals.
Here behind us, what are we looking at?
Yeah, so we are here at the Good Careers Academy, and the program offers vocational skills training to prepare individuals for in-demand career that lead to a living wage. So those students are preparing for their medical assistant occupation. They are learning critical skills to be able to perform as medical assistant and provide essential health care to our community.
What do you think about this new tool?
This is very beneficial for all individuals in our community to understand what it means to be in a lower paid position, for employers to look at how they can optimize their hiring practices to be inclusive of all abilities and background, and to also invest in essential upskilling programs and opportunities for their job seeker to advance into better job and improve their earnings and their living for themselves and our community to prosper.
Where can people find out more information about these programs?
At goodwillsanantonio.org.
Thank you so much. We're going to have all those details coming up on the noon show. Back to you.
Thank you, Tiffany. That's goodwillsanantonio.org. Good information there.
Definitely good information. Okay, now we're at 83 degrees. When we started the show, it was 82 degrees, but you're right. When you stepped outside, this morning, not too bad.
I mean, it's summer out there. We still have some humidity, but yeah, it was definitely lower than the past couple of days. And once again, yesterday, you can see over my shoulder right there, a couple of those showers had popped up off in the distance, and most everybody did not see any rain. If you got some rain, it was, a couple of sprinkles maybe to keep the dust down a little bit. Not, we'll take anything we can get, but this is what we're going to be seeing again today. Not much. However, it's still looking more encouraging as we go in toward next week. So, beautiful view. This is the airport camera looking toward downtown, and there's the Tower of the Americas, and maybe a slight bit of a haze out there. We do have a bit of Saharan dust. And one thing I want to point out first of all is you look across the Atlantic Ocean and there's a bunch of it out there. So we may see more to come, but this is what it looks like right now. Just a little bit is hanging around here. It's going to continue to push on out, and that should continue to push on out of here as we go into tomorrow as well as on into the weekend. So won't have to worry about that. Down the road, maybe a bit more. Here's the big news. No, the big news now, though, these dew point temperatures, when they're down, this is comparing to 24 hours ago, 5, 6, 9 degrees lower than what it was yesterday, which means that is very, very significant when it comes to the dew points, especially when you're going from low, almost mid 70s down into the mid 60s. Now, we're still on the humid side, but yeah, like we've been talking about, it is much, much more comfortable out there. So we're going to continue the warming process, obviously. This dry air does warm up fairly quickly, make it up to 90 at noon, and then, yep, we're going to be hitting 100. We did get 98 yesterday. I don't think anybody's complaining that we didn't hit 100, and that 10% chance for 1 or 2 showers out there, and that'll last just about into dinner time and right around the time the sun's going to be heading down a little bit more. And again, it's going to be just most of us won't see any, unfortunately, out there. Just a couple of them will be popping up. They won't last very long, and then again, once the sun starts thinking about going down, those are going to be dying down. Jump into the future. This is Monday. Now, I always have to qualify this. Long-range computer models tend to kind of, paint things in with a broad brush, but the good thing and the thing to take away from this is the fact that there are going to be some rain chances moving on in here pretty much throughout the day on Monday. It won't be raining everywhere, won't be raining constantly, but this is very encouraging even going into Monday night as well as Tuesday morning throughout most of the day on Tuesday, even sticking around in toward Wednesday and perhaps even a little bit more into Thursday. So we're starting to see an overall change in the pattern. And what's going to be happening, and I'll show you more than this in the next half hour, that high, which has been sitting here, it's the unwelcome house guest. It pushes down in the atmosphere, and it has just been a nuisance, basically. That's going to finally move on out of here. And like I said, we see some of those broad changes in the overall pattern. So we won't be seeing triple digits after this weekend. We will be seeing better rain chances. 90 today at noon, mostly sunny skies, and then high temperature today is going to make it up to 100. Again, that stray shower or two, winds out of the southeast about 10 to 15 miles per hour. And over the next 7 days, well, it's going to get hotter going into this weekend. We're going to be up to 102 both Saturday and Sunday. And then we see those changes in high temperatures only. I'm almost a little bit, 90 degrees, and there's some computer models that want to go cooler than that, which late June, it's like, really? But yeah, it is going to be, we are going to see those broad changes. So it is going to be nice not to have triple digits and actually below normal temperatures for once.
It's going to be very nice.
Yeah.
No complaints from me, or I don't think from anyone at this point.
My air conditioner won't be going 24/7.
A little break there as well.
So thank you so much, Mike. Sure. Well, time is 9:19, 84 degrees.
And coming up after the break, how the Resiliency Center in Uvalde is helping the community cope with the tragic event that hit their small town almost a month ago. And welcome back. It is 9:23. The trauma from that deadly day in Uvalde has brought attention to the need for resources. The Uvalde Together Resiliency Center is helping families with things like counseling.
The FBI and DPS set it up. It's mostly run by the USA Medical Center at the Uvalde County District Attorney. Lee Waldman shows us how it works.
Whatever anybody needs, whatever any families need, we're going to provide it right here. and if it's not here, I'm going to get it here.
The Uvalde Together Resiliency Center is in a temporary facility right now, put together by the Texas Department of Emergency Management. District Attorney Christina Mitchell took us through before families started arriving for the day.
Both agencies and families that are seeking services, they'll check in with the American Red Cross here.
Inside, there are tables where families can get legal advice, counseling, consulate services, workforce commission services, and victim services, all while their kids play safely and get their own counseling nearby.
We know they don't want their children out of their sight.
Outside, 9 small private pods for one-on-one counseling and 3 larger spaces for families. There's been a constant stream of people since the shooting happened.
There's not one person that was not touched by this in Uvalde, not one person.
Mitchell's office has been working with the governor's office, the Ecumenical Center, and the Pulse Nightclub Resiliency Center on a more permanent space for long-term care.
The county has purchased a building with the assistance of the governor's office. It was an old bank building on Main Street in Uvalde.
The building should be fully renovated and ready in November. Mary Beth Fisk is the interim director of the center. She's the CEO of the Ecumenical Center in San Antonio. This is their 3rd mass shooting event to respond to. Their first, Sutherland Springs. Their second, El Paso.
Being able to learn from others' experiences is important to help us from making any missteps and try to be as attentive to the families as needed.
Fisk says they're committing to this community, vowing to stay for at least the next 5 years and then reevaluate from there.
We learn strategies when we go through difficult times. We learn strategies of how we can handle those emotions, but it's equally important to know that that's not on a timeline.
The Ecumenical Center has 20 counselors in Uvalde right now. They try and match families and individuals with their same counselors every day to help create a lasting, trusting relationship. Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
And the Resiliency Center is located at 215 Veterans Lane in Uvalde. If you need them, you can call 830-276-1369 or 210-364-1459.
There's also a 24/7 hotline you can call. That number is also on your screen. The center will be open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. for the rest of this month. Now, starting July 1st, its day shift to Tuesday through Saturday.
And tonight on the Night Beat, Lee Waldman sits down with a 4th grade student who is going to the Resiliency Center. She talks about the day that changed her life forever and shares how she is making sure the victims are not forgotten.
You can listen to the story of 10-year-old Aurelia Santos tonight at 10.
And time now, 9:26 and 84 degrees for now.
Including the importance of family support for young LGBTQ people and how it can save their life.
Plus, with popularity of TikTok continuing to grow, you should be cautious of viral TikTok trends, what you need to know before trying anything on your own. And we are nearing 1 month since a deadly shooting at Robb Elementary in Uvalde. And there have been many ways that horrible day has been described. None of them, however, can fill the silence the victims' families must be experiencing.
One of the doctors who hoped to save their lives isn't staying silent. Ursula Perry explains why he put his stethoscope away that day and began to type.
Maybe by the time you see this story, you'll be able to read the words University Health pediatric resident Dr. Tebra Bani wrote on KSAT.com, an op-ed written a month ago about what he saw and felt.
It was horrific, terrifying, somber, devastating. That evening after the tragic events, I came off my shift and I just started putting pen to paper.
Normally in a mass casualty situation involving an elementary school, a pediatric ER like this would go into high gear. But doctors need patients to work on. And in this case, they didn't have any.
So there are supervising nurses kept telling us, oh, we're going to get 14 kids, we're going to get 9 kids, we're going to get 15 kids. We heard there's 18 kids injured that are coming en route.
But no, 2 of those children would die on their way to San Antonio. And instead of the dozens of lives they expected to begin saving, only 1 arrived.
I did my part. I was ready. I was prepared. I am trained. I don't know who didn't do theirs.
His message goes deeper than that. He says he wants to make sure that this sense of helplessness doesn't fade into another news cycle.
I don't know who to direct my frustration towards, but I hope someone does something, because the number of patients that I should see with gunshot wounds should be 0. Anything above 0 is too many.
Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
Let's take a look outside with live cam. We are now at 85 degrees. Things will warm up today and over the weekend, right, Mike?
Yeah, we're going to be up there. You know, a lot of folks going to be in triple-digit range, upper 90s later on today. Notice how in this picture there's a little bit of a maybe a haze out there, some leftover Saharan dust, not a whole bunch of it. And yes, temperatures will get up, up into the triple-digit range. Like I said, once again, right now we are at 83 degrees, 82 up the road in Comfort, still in the 70s in Los Maples. You know, these numbers are much, much lower, the dew points, and therefore the humidity is much lower than what it was yesterday, which, yeah, it's not bad out there. We still have somewhat of a heat index, though, add a degree or two to that. And then later on this afternoon, like I said, we'll make it up to 100, a couple more of those stray showers. Heat index readings won't be just outrageously high. Some big changes coming down the road. First, we got to make it through the weekend. Details coming up in a couple of minutes.
And during this time, college students and recent graduates may be hunting for a job right now, and companies plan to hire about 32% more new college graduates this year compared to last year. Now, that's according to the National Association of Colleges and Employers. So USA Today has some steps to take if you're looking for a job. First, network with alumni networking that could lead to referrals and interviews. And keep your options open. Look into different industries. Students are encouraged to apply to open jobs even if they do not have relevant experiences, and use resources at your university's career center. Also, platforms like Handshake and LinkedIn are connected to school profiles and can be a good tool to apply through.
And the American dream is out of reach for millions of Americans. That's according to Harvard University's annual State of the Nation's Housing Report that was released yesterday. The report found the income needed to qualify for a home has priced out about 4 million renters over the past year alone. The annual income needed to get a mortgage was $28,000 higher in April versus the same time last year. That's in part due to monthly payments for mortgage, property tax, and insurance also increasing this year. And experts say the record run-up in home prices and rising interest rates are making the situation even worse.
With over 1 billion users, TikTok is one of the most popular social media apps today. In fact, data shows it was the most downloaded app of 2021, but not everything is all fun and games. Some viral challenges can be dangerous, even deadly. RJ Marquez breaks down 5 terrible TikTok trends that you should definitely know about.
The Cha-Cha Challenge doesn't sound bad, but it is. The TikTok trend encourages drivers to recklessly drive all over the road in time with music.
The viral videos like this one show a coin being dropped between the prongs of a phone charger that is loosely connected to an outlet.
The Penny Challenge has been attributed to starting several fires, including one at a high school near Boston.
The Benadryl Challenge is when you take 12 Benadryls to hallucinate.
One teen died after taking at least 12 tablets. And last year, a 10-year-old girl passed away as a result of the Blackout Challenge, which encourages users to hold their breath or choke themselves to the point of losing consciousness. And the Fire Challenge has left several teens burned, including 13-year-old Destiny. Her family says she was prompted to spray hairspray on a mirror and then set it on fire.
And one more parents should be aware of is the mouth taping challenge. TikTok users claim that putting tape on your mouth before bed will force you to breathe through your nose, reducing dry mouth and improving your oral health. But it could actually cause suffocation. TikTok has taken steps to prevent dangerous content in their new guidelines. RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
And June is Pride Month, and this morning we are taking a look at how family support for a young LGBTQ person can save their life. ABC's Becky Worley shares the stories of 2 people who came out to their families and how it affected them.
When 21-year-old Davon realized his truth,
so I came out to my parents today.
His parents' reactions were raw.
I realized that I'll never be what they want me to be.
That video shows the isolation that so many teens feel when coming out to their loved ones. And trans and non-binary adolescents are at even greater risk.
More than half of transgender and non-binary young people seriously considered suicide in the past year, and 1 in 5 actually attempted suicide.
The The Trevor Project works to provide support and share information on the important role that parents, grandparents, and really any adult can play in these pivotal teen moments.
We know that having just one accepting adult in an LGBTQ young person's life can reduce their risk of suicide by 40%.
And that was Becky Worley reporting, but for now we're going to go to a special report with David Muir.
Chief Justice John Roberts on board. The opinion says New York's law violates the 14th Amendment, and apparently they have, struck down New York's licensing regime. It's a 100-year-old law on the books in New York State, and the question now is how quickly it affects other states in this country. Let's bring in Terry Moran, who covers the court and has covered it for quite some time. This is a major ruling, Terry.
It is, David. It is a big ruling on gun rights in the United States and a victory for those who advocate for those rights. New York State required people who wanted to carry a firearm concealed outside the home to show proper cause, which the state defined as a special need different from ordinary citizens for self-defense. Today, the Supreme Court says that's not good enough under the Second Amendment, that the Second Amendment presumes the right to carry. Keep and bear arms is the language in the Constitution, and in this case, the Supreme Court says that bear arms means the right to carry. Now, there is an important caveat here. While this is a sweeping decision, two crucial justices, Justice Brett Kavanaugh and Chief Justice John Roberts, sign on and limit the opinion a little bit, saying that the Second Amendment isn't a blank check. They want more cases in the future that will define where people can carry a firearm outside the home. There was a lot of discussion about what about football stadiums? What about taverns where people are drinking? Are there limits to this? But the sweeping ruling issued and written by Justice Clarence Thomas says that the history of the Second Amendment is crucial and that states must presume that there is a constitutional right to carry a firearm outside the home.
And Terry, we had an indication that this is where the court could be headed back when they heard the case. Chief Justice John Roberts at the time saying the idea that you need a license to exercise the right is unusual in the context of the Bill of Rights.
That's right, David. New York did have one of the strictest gun concealed carry laws in the United States. It is 100 years old, and it does have that unusual mechanism that you apply for the right to carry a firearm outside the home, and that you need to show proper cause, and that New York State courts had defined that as a special need. And what the court is saying here is that constitutional rights, you don't need a special need to demonstrate you can exercise them. That does not, as the concurrence by Justice Kavanaugh and Chief Justice Roberts shows, means that you can carry anything anywhere, but those boundaries have yet to be determined. And on the foundation of Justice Thomas's opinion, it says that the Supreme Court is saying that the states must presume the right to carry a firearm outside the home across this nation.
All right, Terry Moran, stick with us here. We want to bring in our legal analyst, Kate Shaw, also a legal scholar. And Kate, you saw the dissent here.
And we were just coming out of a special report from ABC, the U.S. Supreme Court striking down a New York State gun control law, setting a major precedent that expands the reach of the Second Amendment. This is basically in favor of firearms owners. And where in New York, where you had to show proof when taking guns outside your home, it looks like that is no longer the case.
That's right. This is a story that, of course, we're going to continue to provide more coverage in our later newscast.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. Right now, we are keeping an eye on these temperatures that continue to go up.
Yeah, they're creeping up. We started like about 81. Now we're at 85, and yeah, we're going to be up there. It's
called summer. We're heating up, but if you really, you guys wonder about 99 versus 100. It's that psychological thing, right?
Right, but it works.
Right. If you stare at that picture long enough, does that really cool you down? The nice little fountain.
Right now, it's working because we're inside the studio and we don't have to worry about the heat outside.
Good point, Steph. Yeah, but think cool thoughts. Rain dance wouldn't hurt. And as I said this morning, I think we're going to be dancing once we get into next week because we do have some decent rain chances. It is not a sure thing, but there are good indications that the overall pattern is going to be changing finally. Nice view of downtown and temperatures. Yeah, we will continue up into the upper 80s, 90 at noon. And then topping off at 100 later on today. One or two of those stray showers, thunderstorms going to be stray showers, pardon me. Not if we see any thunder out there, but most of us aren't going to be seeing anything today. We will be up around triple digits and then back down, dropping through the 90s, but it's a slow cooling process. It's hot out there when air conditioning is still going well into the evening hours. Humidity. Dew point temperatures are down, and therefore it is somewhat more comfortable this morning, and they are going to be dropping down later on today and then in the evening hours and then coming back up tomorrow. So at least this afternoon we won't have just those outrageously high heat index readings, not much actually above the air temperature. If you're in the shade, it'll be slightly more pleasant later on this afternoon. All right, jumping ahead to next week and starting off on Monday, we do have the chance for a few showers around here. What's going to be going on is there's somewhat of a front which is going to be lying across the area, and it's a rare situation, obviously, to see any sort of a front in the middle of summer. I know it was last summer we had one that moved on through here and knocked temperatures down, and this one looks like it is going to be shaving temperatures down as well, and giving us some rain chances around here Monday and then into Tuesday. And now this is, again, I have to qualify, broad brush. Doesn't mean it's going to be raining everywhere or constantly, but some decent rain chances going into Tuesday. And then also even sticking around parts of the day on Wednesday and even into late Wednesday night and Thursday. Notice this flow coming in here off the Gulf of Mexico. So that's where the big change comes in. The high, which has been sitting on top of us, stays put. It is the unwelcome house guest that pushes down in the atmosphere. All the activity stays well up there to the north of us in sort of that main flow of the jet. But what happens then by the first of next week is that starts to work its way off to the west, and then the center of high pressure is sort of going to reform off here to the east of us. And what this is going to do is then allow, we get some of these waves coming in here. We call them easterly waves that go from east to west. And then the hope would be that these would then bring in some more rain chances as we go into the latter part of next week. So it's promising as far as the overall pattern changing. And again, those rain chances as well as some lower temperatures. 90 at noon today, mostly sunny skies, and then high temperature is going to make it up to 100. A stray shower or two, kind of a gee whiz kind of thing. And then it is going to get hotter as we go on into the weekend. 101 tomorrow, 102 both Saturday and Sunday. And then we've got those rain chances. And look at that, temperatures, highs about 10, 12 degrees cooler than what they're going to be over the weekend. That is some good news. Steph, Jonathan.
Very good news. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you so much.
And KSAT Explains has taken on several topics, including immigration, affordable housing, and Black history. And yesterday, the team behind the segment received a Gracie Award for Best Local TV News Magazine.
That's right. Anchor and producer Myra Arthur, along with show creator Lexi Salazar, accepted the award from the Alliance for Women in Media. The team was honored for their episode explaining protective orders in Bexar County.
Also in attendance were editor Valerie Gomez, former executive producer Brina Monterosa, our news director Bernice Kearney, and president and CEO of Graham Media, Catherine Balamonte.
Now, we are very proud of the work the Explains team has been doing and is doing.
And if you haven't seen the episode we're talking about, here's a little clip from that episode.
You're never going to get away from me. I will always find you. I'll punish you through the children.
I don't want it on my conscience or on us that if something happens to this victim that we didn't put forth all the effort.
A protective order, you have to be able to speak to a pattern of behavior. The burden of proof is on us.
She was murdered outside of our office. There's no words to say.
The circumstances could have been very different for me. Possibly not even be sitting here.
If you pull out your phone and scan this QR code, you can watch the full KSAT Explains episode right now. You can always head to our website at ksat.com for other stories they've done.
And time now, 9:49 and 85 degrees for now.
Now, when we come back, a look at a new movie coming out on Netflix tomorrow starring Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson.
We all know the San Antonio Zoo train is a treasure to Brackenridge Park in our city. I'm Sarah Costa. Coming up tomorrow on GMSA, we introduce you to a longtime conductor who has helped keep that magic alive.
And And welcome back. It is 9:52. Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson star in a new action comedy about mistaken identity involving a hitman.
The Man from Toronto comes out on Netflix tomorrow, and CNN's Rick Damigella gives us a preview of the movie.
Hey, Toronto. You ready to go back to work? We need an extraction of information.
It's a case of mistaken identity between a nobody and a hitman in The Man from Toronto.
This is the Man from Toronto.
Wait, what? I'm the Man from Toronto.
And he's here to torture you.
I love the space of action comedy, so it was good to come back, to something like this, or have something like this be on the table where I could get back to the fun, get back to the funny, but get back to that grounded individual that has that level of mess up that so many can relate to, right?
Hola. I am the Man from Toronto.
Objection. No, I'm the Man from Toronto. Oh,
it was just great to do this with Kevin, who, every day I would just be amazed of, what he was able to come up with to just. It's hysterical. It's amazing that he can just stay in that scene and stay in that character and just continue to throw just genius comedy at you. You got this. I'm scared. Own it. Wave the knives around. Somebody needs to talk. And I will say probably my worst fault was that I was constantly cracking up and kind of blowing the take. Oh, sorry, you'll do it again. I do apologize. He was very patient with me.
Kind of weird way you've managed to inspire me. But I don't want to be you anymore.
One more time.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
And like we mentioned earlier in the newscast, tonight is the NBA draft. It begins at 7 p.m. and you can watch it right here on KSAT.
The Spurs have 4 picks in total. 3 of them are first-round picks. The team is continuing to rebuild itself after missing the playoffs for a franchise record 3 straight seasons.
There are a number of scenarios that could happen, including trading one or more of those picks to move up in the draft. Larry Ramirez is in New York for the draft, and he and Greg Simmons will have highlights tonight on the Night Beat.
All right, 100 again today. 1 or 2 of those stray showers popping up. It is going to get hotter. We're going to be seeing low hundreds tomorrow going into the weekend. Now, the humidity is not going to be ridiculously high. It was actually a little bit lower this morning, and it's not going to be ridiculously high in the afternoon. Still, obviously, you want to take it easy. And then we see some fairly broad changes coming in here by the first of next week, which means some lower temperatures and some decent rain chances. And even looking beyond what's on that graphic there, perhaps even some chances of rain going into the latter part of next week with these overall changes. And what's nice to see, those 90s, those are actually below normal temperatures. Finally. I mean, it's been above normal since, I don't know, we were
forever
children,
ago.
I think. Yeah, basically, it seems like.
It's been pretty hot.
Yeah. But there is finally a broad change coming about here.
So excited about that.
Yeah.
It's
Definitely
good to see the 90s again.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you here tomorrow. Have a great day.